As a local cafe owner, I'm struggling to attract more customers to my shop. What digital marketing strategies would you recommend to increase local foot traffic and build a loyal customer base? Wow. So if you think about coffee shops, there are only three reasons, I suppose, why someone would want to continuously buy at a coffee shop. And the reason I say continuously is because you're not going to make a ton of money on someone coming to your store and buying a coffee once off. You would ideally want that customer to pop in as often as possible in order to get coffee so that you can stack the lifetime value and increase the profitability of that customer. So it's important to understand that there's only three reasons why someone would want to come to your coffee shop, as often as possible. Let's say 3 or 4 days a week. And first of all, you need amazing coffee. You need potentially really good pricing, or you need to give them a really amazing experience. I think that's what Starbucks have done so well from an experience standpoint. Their pricing might not be great, but their coffee is good. So it's like people go there for the gourmet coffee and they have a good experience. The pricing might not be where they want it to be. So if you can tick out of those boxes, you can make amazing coffee at a good price, or amazing coffee and give them an amazing experience, or a good price and experience. Like those, I think if you can tick 2 of those boxes, then you have a good chance of bringing people back. And when it comes to the digital marketing side of it, then you can bring a lot of those people back if you're collecting emails and contact numbers. So your digital marketing strategy should always include collecting emails and contact numbers, because that way you can continuously communicate with people and you can promote offers and discounts and value ads, etc. For example, I see running a Facebook ad targeting people interested in coffee with a really cool piece of content on how you're making the coffee and what makes it so special, perhaps to a landing page where you say get 10% off for life if you submit your email and contact number for our loyalty program. So that's one idea that's popping into my head. But I think what's important to understand is that you're not going to make money up front. You need to bring people back. So if the business is not catering on those 3 things that will draw people back, which is amazing coffee, good price, or amazing experience, if you can tick 2 out of those 3 boxes and you can leverage that in order to communicate with the database, to bring them into the store as often as possible, to stay top of mind, then you have a good chance of doing really well. Outside of that, I think content is going to be crucial. Content is crucial because people want to see how you make the coffee. Coffee is becoming quite a interesting thing, especially cappuccinos and what they do, the fine art on the cappuccino itself, like playing with the foam. We see a ton of hours watched on content where people show before and after type stuff. So if you can incorporate that into your content strategy where you show the whole process of making the coffee, or the process of making the art on the coffee, I think that can be quite entertaining and attention grabbing on a social front. So I think from a digital standpoint, Facebook and Instagram ads, and as well as TikTok, could be something to explore with, but mainly probably Meta from my understanding, especially if you want to convert people on the back of that. So just to conclude, from a digital strategy, you need to collect those emails, you need to collect those numbers, and you might focus on Meta more than anything else, unless you want to go the organic content route where you focus on TikTok when it comes to entertaining content. But I think if you want to drive people to a landing page and have a high conversion rate in terms of signups, I think Meta is probably still going to be a little bit more superior than TikTok. So something that you can give a shot. Our tech startup is about to launch a new product. What digital strategies would you suggest for our website to optimize it for lead generation and customer engagement? Also, how important is SEO in the context? And what are some quick wins? All right, so when it comes to tech software, I think what's crucial is the biggest problem we have seen is that people don't always understand the solution. So if you are going to be driving people to the website, you want to make sure that your website is extremely simple, short, and concise. So very easy to understand, not the ideal time to be clever. You want to keep it simple and short sentences and concise, and want to explain as best you can what the product actually does in terms of solving pain points and increasing people's desires. So from my point of view, maybe a short little video on that page can be crucial. Testimonials are going to be super crucial. People you've worked with are going to be super crucial. Those trust factors, that's what I'm referring to. But more on a strategy standpoint, I think something to consider would be a VSL, which is a video sales letter. You can use Meta if it is an education drive where you're going to be targeting people who might be interested in the software. So if you're going to be doing a lot of education, Meta and Instagram is going to work really great for that. If it's more of an intent-based solution, something that people are already searching for, then Google Ads can work well. But at the end of the day, you're going to be driving people to a potential opt-in page where they have to leave their email and maybe some additional information in order to get to the second part of the page, which is where you're going to deliver the values. So you are going to talk about how you can solve a big pain point and get people to a specific goal or a desire. And that's where the value is going to lie on the second page. And in that VSL, you can bring in how the software helps obviously narrow that gap. And on the third step, people could potentially book a demo with your sales team so that the user can actually get an opportunity to better understand the product and how it might suit their needs. What's going to run parallel to all of that would be email welcome sequences, education sequences, better explaining the product, pain points that you solve, industries that this is amazing for, etc. And maybe potentially handling some objections proactively from an email standpoint that can really help increase just the overall amount of bookings that you might get for your company. When it comes to the SEO game, I think something that's important to note is that it's not necessarily a quick solution. It is something that takes time, and the more the competitive the industry, the more time it will take to rank for those specific keywords, obviously. So SEOs won't necessarily be a quick win, but it is a long-term game, and the longer you can do it, the more the effects will potentially compound, and the more traffic organically you will start to drive, which will lower your cost per acquisition over time, which is a great thing, obviously, for anybody. If you're looking for quick wins specifically, I do think the VSL is a great option. You can use Google for intent-based solutions as discussed, or Meta ads, or even TikTok. I think Meta will probably be better depending on what industry you are catering for, and which will drive people back to that opt-in page. If you are potentially on a tight budget, then something that you can consider maybe Meta lead form ads, which will allow you to run lead form ads on Facebook and Instagram. People fill in their details, company details, position within the company, budget that they have available, whatever it may be. That goes straight to your sales team. They can then hit those people up, book a demo, and essentially try and convert them on a demonstration call. So that is probably a quick win solution. I don't know if that's extremely sustainable depending on the actual problem that you're solving. I do believe that the VSL is a great thing that you can put together that can run on the back as an evergreen strategy, and however, just require a bit of time, energy, and budget in order to get all of that off the ground. Maybe one quick side note is that I think most software companies struggle because they're struggling to retain the users on a monthly basis. So obviously, the more incredible the software, the higher the probability that you're solving that pain point for yourself. But I think what's crucial is just getting as much customer feedback as possible, or client feedback as possible, so that you can continue improving the software in order to create a more of a sticky environment so that people don't necessarily leave. I think that is very, very crucial because your profitability will be highly impacted if you're spending all this money to acquire users, but on the flip side, they only use the software for 2 or 3 months and they're not necessarily playing the long game with your company. So it's really understanding those mechanics.